fighting a guy who grew up in South Dakota. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's you know, it's cool for both guys, you know, to get to come back home somewhat and get to fight right here in the state of South Dakota. So that's exciting.
This, I would say, is probably your biggest fight to date.
Yeah, I mean, every fight you have is the next fight is the biggest fight. So this is what Bellator put in front of me, and so this is the biggest fight in my career right now.
How nice is it that it's here?
It's good. It's really good that I get to come back home. I've been here 4 times. This will be my 4th time, so it's exciting. It's exciting to be here, and I'm just excited.
Let's say, I mean, I don't think Bellator will probably ever go to Webster, so it's the closest thing you get to a home game, right? Is it special to you, or is it just another fight?
Every time you get to step in there and compete is, you know, it's a blessing to get back in there. You know, a lot of guys are hurt and injured, or people that, you know, don't get to do this anymore. So it's fun to be home. Right now, it's just a business trip. It's a business trip until after 10 o'clock on Friday night, and then I get to see everyone, family, friends, and enjoy being back home. But right now, it's taking care of business. You know, it's funny, every piece of literature I see written about you, it's always the guy that's from the hometown of Brock Lesnar, the guy that's from the hometown of Brock Lesnar. Do you hope that ever goes away, that you make a name enough for yourself that people don't need that comparison to say who you are? It doesn't matter, you know. I spent a lot of time with Brock when I was younger, and, you know, he did help me, push me into this, you know, being around him. And I got to spar with guys like Tony Ferguson as a senior in high school, and got to see Randy Couture out there helping Brock. And so I got to see a lot of things as a 15 to 17-year-old kid going and spending some time with Brock. So it's probably really helped push me here. No doubt.
Talk about the undefeated record, man. I mean, you started out tearing people up, right? The last 2 fights you've had to go to a decision. Give me an idea of what you take out of that. I mean, are you disappointed with that, or is that just a reality of, you know, as you move up the ranks, you're fighting tougher people?
Yeah, each fight is getting, you know, you have guys that have different problems, and so you have to take care of those problems. But, you know, the last 2 guys have been great guys. Matt Secor was a veteran who's fought a lot of people, and he's tough. He's only been finished once in his career, and, you know, I had him on the ropes, had him close to, but he's just a tough guy. And Buckley was a tough kid who was 7-1, you know, and he's a very, very talented fighter. And I went out there and he couldn't do anything for 15 minutes. So obviously you like to get the finish, but it doesn't always happen. No doubt.
Welterweight Grand Prix going on right now. I got to ask, I mean, there's a guy in there that has less fights than you do. Were you disappointed at all to maybe not be considered for that?
Well, it'd be different if I was sitting around not doing anything, but I was in the middle of a fight camp getting ready for Friday night. So that's the only thing that I'm worried about. Things will take care of it, you know, themselves, and if something opens up or whatever with the tournament, then we'll see. But right now, the biggest thing is just taking care of Friday night, and then we'll go from there.
Logan, what kind of challenges does AJ present for you?
You know, he's a longer guy. He's a good striker, and each guy, like I said before, each guy has a different little puzzle, you know, and you have to learn how to put that together and make your adjustments. But he's a good striker. He comes to fight, you know, he's a veteran, and he's just a tough-nosed guy. So we've got a good game plan, and I'm confident in the things that we have to do to get the win on Friday.
You're a confident athlete. Are you at all surprised with how fast you've gotten this good in a new sport?
I mean, I started MMA when I was probably in 8th grade. Just being around it, watching, you know, I spent a long time watching the sport, being around it, and I had my first fight, amateur fight, as a sophomore in high school, you know, and I put in the time as a wrestler, you know, since I was 5 years old. So I have 20 years in combat sports. So it's just making little transitions in the striking and the grappling and things like that. But I put 20 years into wrestling at the highest level possible, and that just kind of, things transfer over into MMA, you know, and so that's why I'm confident. I know that I've had, you know, over 1,000 matches, wrestling matches. I won my first state title here in Sioux Falls as a 12-year-old kid, you know, in high school. So the pressure's been there since I've been a 7th grader, and so you just learn to embrace it, and, you know, pressure is a privilege. So I'm excited to be here back in my home state. You know, people are expecting things, but the biggest thing for me is I'm prepared, and I'll go out there and give 100% effort, and I'll let the rest take care of itself.
So is there a little extra pressure because you're home?
I don't think once you get in the cage, no. maybe before a little bit, but I've done a good job of just, at the end of the day, it's a fight, and I prepared for 10 weeks, and I did everything in my possible to get ready for this, and it'll be 100% effort on Friday night, and so I'm prepared to go out there and do what it takes to get a W.
Of course, a very decorated wrestler, but do you feel like this is purely striker versus wrestler, or better on the feet as well?
Yeah, I spend my time down in South Florida at Hard Knocks 365 with the greatest striking coach in MMA with Henry Hooft, and one of the greatest wrestling coaches with Kami Barzini and Greg Jones. And I can work out with guys like Luke Rockhold, Mike Chandler, Robbie Lawler, Kamaru Usman, the best of the best on a daily basis. So I know where my striking is. It's just my wrestling is better than everybody that I fought. And so if I don't have to, if I can take someone down and control them, I guess that's what I'm going to do, And so we've seen guys like Ben Askren, Khabib have major success, and so to me, it's at the end of the day, it's still about putting on a performance, but winning. It's a sport, and it's about winning.
Do you feel like this is a breakout opportunity though for you? I mean, you laid out your resume. It's impressive, and maybe you don't get some of the hype or the attention that some of the other prospects are getting. Do you feel like this is a moment to maybe get a little bit more attention, to get a little bit more respect?
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk like those other guys. I don't need to, It doesn't. I'm going to let fighting take care of itself, and when I get there, I don't need to go out and, if it's a pay-per-view fight, okay, it's different, and you have to sell it, but where I come from, the state of South Dakota is very blue-collar, hard-working, hard-nosed people, and you don't act like that, you don't talk like that, and to me, it's silly. Now, I've never really fought a guy disliked, and me and AJ get along. So to me, it's competing. I don't dislike him. I don't dislike anybody I fought. So I don't really. It doesn't do anything for me to sit there and talk. And 98% of those guys try to be Conor, and they're not Conor. And that's what it comes down to. They're not. And so I don't need to be Conor McGregor. I don't want to be Conor. I'm my own self, my own fighter, and I'll take care of, let the fighting take care of it.
When you start your fight, though, you have to kind of shut that I like AJ off and not like him for the length of the fight?
MMA it's violent, but at the end of the day, wrestling was too. And there's differences about it, but I wrestled some of my best friends all throughout college, high school, and so it's a competition. It's not, I'm not going out there to hurt them on purpose and things like that. There's no hatred, it's just going out there and I'm a competitor. No matter what I do, I'm going to compete in. Whether it's MMA or something totally different, it's just about competing, and so I'll go out there and I'll compete as hard as I can for 15 minutes, and I'll take care of business.